Good day, boys and girls. It's Tuesday, January the 13th, 2009. I am Joanne, and today it's news from all around the world. Let's start with the place many of you call home, a place called Internet. How do you... oh shoot, now I've forgotten what I was searching for. Oh yeah, footprint of a Google search. Lots of to-do about a paper accusing Google of burning as much CO2 as boiling a kettle for every 2 Google searches. Google commented on the story. The current EU standard for tailpipe emissions calls for 140 grams of CO2 per kilometre driven, but most cars haven't reached that level yet. Thus, the average car driven for 1 kilometre, that's 0.6 miles for those of us in the US, produces as many greenhouse emissions as 1,000 Google searches. That still sounds pretty intense. I think I'm going to just throw in the towel and finally stop using dogpile. What about the footprint of bubblegum? Gum does not stain your digestive system for 7 years, according to contemporary digestive scientific factual data. This old myth's origin is uncertain, but gum will likely be broken down in several hours and days at the very most. A Google search reveals that chewing gum for 1 hour consumes 80 watts of energy, roughly equivalent to 10 Google searches. Tetris to fight PTSD. A report by a team of researchers at Oxford, published in the medical journal PLOS1, concludes that Tetris may be an effective cognitive vaccine against the onset of post-traumatic stress disorder. Volunteers were shown a 12-minute video depicting real-life trauma such as injury or death, and then half of them played Tetris for 10 minutes while the other half sat quietly. While all participants recorded flashbacks of the film in their diaries, the half that played Tetris had significantly fewer incidents of post-traumatic flashback. The brain's visuospatial resources are suspected to be limited, and during the 6 hours following a traumatic event, the brain tends to replay the incident over and over, subconsciously committing it to memory. By interrupting that activity with games like Tetris that require strong visuospatial activity, the traumatic imagery is recorded in less detail. Probably not an option for George the Giant Lobster. George the Giant Lobster, one-time mascot for New York City restaurant The City Crab, was kept on a huge platter, photographed by kids, and treated by restaurant staff like a pet. But he will soon be released back into the ocean off the coast of Maine at the request of animal rights organisation PETA. Reuters estimates George is about 140 years old, while New York Daily News reports his age to be around 80. Given the conflicting reports about the lobster's age, we can only assume that George spent his days at the City Crab lamenting the fate of his friend Bubba. Bubba was a massive lobster from Nantucket, weighing over 20 pounds, discovered back in the winter of 2005. Sadly though, Bubba died just after his transfer to the Pittsburgh Zoo. It's generally believed that Bubba died of stress along the way. Laid-off workers in Pittsburgh are being granted free tuition at the Community College of Allegheny County beginning in March. The program offers certifications in IT, basic electronics, lobsternomics, and select healthcare professions. Lobsternomics? That might be great news for the 13,500 employees laid off from Alcoa, the third largest aluminium manufacturer in the world. Wouldn't it be great to see other community colleges following suit? No word yet on the mandatory re-education of mortgage brokers, investment bankers or auto industry CEOs, not to mention a lack of response for my course proposal, Post-Banks. We've seen other robot suits before, but there's a new one in development aimed at elderly farmers. Actually, that's not the clip I was talking about. This is. The suit is expected to go on the market within 2 to 3 years and costs from $5,000 to $10,000. Hey, if I was an elderly farmer, I'd be pissed off. Technology is rapidly destroying the joys of retirement. Remember that old photo of the homemade hands-free device? I can only assume that was the inspiration behind this new gadget, the Cellmate. Give enough lobsters, enough typewriters, and over time you'll eventually get Shakespeare, an iPhone, and even that. And finally for today, even this.